To explain mindset number two, I want to quote Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is the multi-billionaire founder of the biggest hedge fund in the United States, Bridgewater. If you ever watched the series Billions, I suspect the protagonist, Bobby Axelrod, was modeled after Ray Dalio in part. Self-made, originally from a humble New York family. And I heard him say once that the key to be a successful investor is to bet against the consensus. What does that mean? Every time you hear about a famous share or stock, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, by definition, is already overpriced. To make a huge profit as an investor, you need to look in a completely different direction that everybody else is looking, and you need to think differently from everybody else and find those shares, those secret jewels that still haven't exploded. That is what I call thinking out of the box. Every billionaire or highly successful person you're going to meet has done something like that at one point. Jeff Bezos was berated by his family because he decided to quit his safe and well-paid job to sell used books from his garage, something that eventually became Amazon. Sarah Blakely broke all the rules of hierarchy and networking. She went straight to the top person at the store, Lauren Taylor, and made an appointment to see the lady and went and say, come with me to the restroom and I'll show you how good my underwear looks under my pants. To be a big successful person, you have to think differently, independently, and outside the box. That is very different from what we physicians learn. First of all, compliance is a big word in medicine. We are trained to follow guidelines and rules because if we don't, we may get sued. We are used to obeying authority. Just to begin with the survival mode thinking, we are used to think linearly and in narrow algorithmic ways. I have news for you that you may not like, but I have to share them. If you are listening to this lecture today, if you are a physician, you are by definition an overachiever. And if you don't think yourself an overachiever, that's even more proof that you have lost sight of your accomplishments. Because for the majority of the world, making it to medical school, let alone graduating from it, is an impossible dream. So if you are a physician, you have already proven that you are a gold student, following rules, following guidelines, striving for the approval of professors, striving for good reference letters, you are a model citizen. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but there's an acrostic going on about what model means that says model means mediocre, obedient, dependent, entertained, and lifeless. I'm not sure that I like that. But the bottom line is that if you go back against this continuous variable of compliance versus independent thinking, yes, the billionaires probably go to the extreme category of rebels. And yet, we physicians tend to go to the other end of submissiveness and rigidity. Yes, it's good to be cooperative, compliant, and play by the rules, but can we bring more into our lives some more of independent thinking, authenticity, individuality? So I invite you to reflect today. Could you use some more expansive, independent thinking in your life? Let alone rebellion. If you see that there's something going on in your medical group that is against your integrity or your values, are you comfortable disagreeing with your colleagues? Are you able to challenge a consensus if you believe it's not right? In your personal life, are you able to express dissatisfaction? In summary of the mindset difference number two, beginning from the previous one, we physicians operate on survival brain, survival mode. That means that our our responses, our way of thinking tends to be more linear, more algorithmic, more following guidelines. A billionaire, on the other hand, has a much more expansive way of thinking, quoting the fictional billionaire Bobby Axelrod again from the series Billions. If you ever see him, he's holding hundreds of pieces of information in his mind at the same time. There's a conflict in the Middle East, and there's an earthquake in Indonesia, which means that the price of heavy metals and the price of the gas are going to go up. That is almost going outside of your own skull and tapping into universal intelligence. And that form of thinking is only possible from that higher brain center that we can access when we are in that optimistic, peaceful mindset. And when you're in that set of mind, you're more likely to be an independent thinker who bets against the consensus, while we physicians tend to be stuck in guidelines and be resistant to new or confirmed ideas. And that takes us to the mindset number three,